The galaxy had stories. Old stories. Whispers of a race that had once walked among the stars but vanished before any empire rose to power. Some called them myths. Some called them ghosts. The elders said they were called humans. But no proof was ever found, no wreckage, no worlds, nothing. Just silence. For most, humanity was just a tale told to children to scare them into silence. That was why when the war began, no one even remembered the old stories. The great empires fought among themselves as they always had. Fleets of steel clashed, planets burned, and billions screamed in terror. No one thought about the old myths. Not until a shadow appeared at the edge of the battlefield. The Krith Dominion had the largest fleet the galaxy had ever seen. Thousands of warships, black and sharp, filling the void. Their enemies, the smaller coalition of free systems, were already losing. Planet after planet fell. Resistance broke. No one could stand against the Krith. They were merciless, they were endless, and soon the whole galaxy would be theirs. But on the day the coalition's final defense line was about to fall, strange signals appeared on the edges of the system. The coalition commanders thought it was just debris or interference. But the Krith knew better. They felt the presence before anyone else. Something old. Something dangerous. The commanders dismissed it. But the soldiers, the veterans of many wars, began to whisper one word. Humans. The Krith laughed when they heard it. A myth, their warlord growled. Ghost stories for children. There are no humans. But his lieutenants looked uneasy. The signals were real. Something was moving. Something large. The coalition ships braced for the final attack, but then, everything stopped. The Krith fleet froze, thousands of ships silent in formation, waiting. The battlefield grew quiet. Even the comms chatter went still. And then it came. From the blackness of space, shapes emerged. At first only faint glimmers, as if stars themselves were shifting. Then engines burned white, brighter than any alien had seen. Massive ships broke through the void, their armor scarred, their hulls painted in strange markings unknown to any empire. And at the front of them all was a ship so large, so heavy, it made the Krith dreadnoughts look small. The coalition soldiers watched in silence. Their scanners scrambled to identify the ships, but the computer returned nothing. Unknown origin. Unknown technology. Unknown race. And then the whispers spread faster. Humans. The myths. The ghosts of war. The Krith warlord shouted across the comms. Do not fear shadows. Fire on them. But his voice betrayed his unease. His fleet opened fire, thousands of beams and missiles streaking across the void. The unknown fleet didn't flinch. Shields shimmered blue, brighter and stronger than anything ever seen. The largest human ship didn't even slow. It simply answered. One shot. Just one. A beam of light lanced from its side, and a Krith dreadnought, a warship that had taken decades to build, vanished in a single burst. Silence fell again. Thousands of ships, both coalition and Krith, stared at the wreckage drifting into nothing. One shot. One kill. The myths were real. The coalition forces could not believe what they were seeing. They had been seconds from annihilation, and now a fleet no one thought existed had appeared out of nowhere. Some cried, some laughed, some simply stared. The Krith panicked. Their formation broke. But the humans did not chase. The great warship only moved forward slowly, as if it had all the time in the universe. A deep voice then echoed across every channel, across every comm system, in a language long forgotten. Yet somehow, everyone understood. This war ends. Now. It was not a request. It was a command. The Krith screamed in rage, but behind their anger was fear. Their ships turned to face the humans, but none wanted to be the first to die. The coalition fleet watched, waiting. None dared move. The galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. For ages they had laughed at the stories of humanity. Now they were staring at their warships with their own eyes. No one knew where these humans had been, why they had vanished, or why they had returned. But one thing was certain: humanity was not a myth. Humanity was real, and the war had just changed forever. And in the dark, unseen by any fleet, more signals whispered in. More engines. More shadows. The human fleet was not alone. The galaxy's nightmare had only begun. The galaxy did not sleep after that battle. News spread faster than light. Fleets that had been fighting for years stopped their wars. Merchants whispered about it in hidden stations. Civilians passed it like fire in the wind. The humans had returned. The coalition leaders met in secret. They argued all night, voices raised, hands trembling. "We don't even know if they are friends," one shouted. "What if they crush us next?" Another answered with fear in his eyes. "They saved us. One shot destroyed a dreadnought. Do you not understand? Nothing in this galaxy has that kind of power." No one knew what to do. No one knew what the humans wanted. But the Krith Dominion knew one thing. They had felt fear. Real fear. For centuries, they had been the predators, the conquerors, the lords of war. Now they were prey. Their warlord broke ships against the humans in desperation. Every battle was the same. A storm of Krith weapons, and then silence, because the humans destroyed ships with a single blast. Sometimes two. And each time, their massive warships didn't even take damage. The Dominion tried to hide their losses, but everyone saw. Spies carried the truth to every corner of space. The Krith had met an enemy they could not defeat. The humans did not speak much. They sent no diplomats. They made no alliances. Their ships simply appeared wherever the fighting was worst, and ended it. No mercy, no warning. Just that terrible voice that echoed across the comms. "This war ends. Now." And when they said it, the war ended. The coalition fleets began to whisper among themselves. "Maybe they came back to protect us." But others shook their heads. "No, look at them. They do not fight for us. They fight for themselves." The humans never joined meetings. They never explained. Their ships only moved like ghosts, striking with precision, then vanishing into the dark. It was like the galaxy had gained a silent judge, a god of war who punished anyone who broke peace. But deep inside the Krith Dominion, something darker was stirring. The Krith warlord gathered his council. His great claws scraped the metal table. His eyes burned with hatred. "We cannot allow this," he hissed. "If the humans spread, our empire will fall. Already our fleets fear them. Already our people whisper of them. No. We will not live in the shadow of ghosts." A general asked quietly, "What if the myths are true, my lord? What if humanity was stronger than all of us even before we rose to power? What if they were only sleeping?" The warlord struck the table, shattering it. "Then we will wake them with fire, and burn them back into dust." He ordered his fleets to prepare for something greater. Not battles. Not raids. An extermination. He would gather every ship, every weapon, every dark secret the Krith had hidden, and throw it against the humans. He would show the galaxy that the Krith still ruled. But far away, on the edge of the stars, the humans had already seen it coming. Their ships moved silently, but their technology was not silent. They read every signal, every order, every whisper of the Krith. They knew what was coming, and they prepared. For the first time, one of their commanders spoke with a coalition admiral. The meeting was brief. The human's face appeared on the screen, pale skin, sharp eyes, no emotion. His voice was calm, heavy, like stone. "We will face them. Do not interfere." The coalition admiral stammered. You can't stand alone against the full Dominion. They will send thousands of ships. Tens of thousands." The human's eyes narrowed. "We have faced worse." And then the transmission ended. The admiral sat in silence for a long time, shaking. It was true. They didn't even ask for help. They didn't need it. But whispers grew in the coalition halls. Some feared the humans. If they could destroy the Dominion, then what stopped them from destroying everyone else? Some said they should prepare a plan to resist the humans, in case. Others said that was madness. The humans could erase fleets with a thought. The galaxy was trapped between fear and hope. And then the day came. The Krith Dominion unleashed its full strength. The largest fleet ever built gathered at the burning star of Draxos. Tens of thousands of ships, from small fighters to world killers. Their weapons glowed red, their engines roared like fire. The galaxy held its breath. Would the humans come? They came. First one ship. Then 3. Then 20. And then more, sliding out of the dark like shadows of death. Their ships were scarred, old, but powerful, glowing with strange energy. They moved with perfect silence, no wasted motion, as if they had done this 1,000 times before. The Krith roared and opened fire. A storm of missiles and beams filled the void, brighter than a star. Space itself shook. Even from distant systems, people saw the flashes. And when the fire cleared, the humans were still there. Untouched. Their shields burned with blue fire, stronger than before. Then they answered. The lead human warship fired. One beam. 10 Krith ships vanished. Another beam. 20 more. The Krith screamed, ordered all weapons to focus fire. But it was useless. The coalition fleets, watching from hidden distance, could not believe it. Impossible, one commander whispered. No one can fight a fleet of that size. But the humans were not just fighting. They were winning. The battle raged for hours. Krith ships fell by the hundreds, then by the thousands. Human ships were hit, damaged, but none were destroyed. They moved like wolves among sheep, cutting through the Dominion's strength with terrifying ease. And then it happened. The human flagship unleashed something new. A weapon no one had seen before. Not a beam. Not a missile. A pulse. It spread across the battlefield like a wave of light. When it touched a Krith ship, the engines died. The weapons shut down. Thousands of ships went dark, floating helpless. The warlord roared in fury. His dreadnought charged forward, larger than all others, weapons blazing. It struck the human flagship again and again, its claws tearing at space itself. But the human ship did not fall. Instead, the human commander gave one final order. End it. The flagship fired. A single shot. The Krith dreadnought, pride of the Dominion, shattered into pieces, burning like a broken star. The galaxy gasped. The Krith Dominion's greatest weapon was gone. The surviving Krith ships fled, broken and leaderless. The humans did not chase. They simply stood silent among the wreckage, their ships glowing cold in the darkness. And then, across every comm, their voice came again. This war ends. Now. But this time, there was something different. The voice was colder. Harder. It was not just a command. It was a warning. Because the humans had shown the galaxy their power. And everyone understood what it meant. The Krith were broken. The coalition was saved. But the galaxy was no longer free. It now lived under the shadow of humanity. And deep inside, many wondered, what happens when the humans decide the galaxy itself is the enemy? The galaxy had changed. The war against the Krith was finished. The coalition was safe. Worlds that had been burning were saved. But no one celebrated. Not truly. Because in every council chamber, in every command room, in every dark corner of the galaxy, one question remained. What do the humans want? They had not explained themselves. They had not asked for land, allies, or tribute. They had not even spoken much. They came, they fought, they left. But their silence was heavier than war. For silence meant mystery. And mystery meant fear. The coalition leaders met again. The chamber was tense, filled with the scent of fear. An elder raised his voice. "We must thank them. They saved us all." A younger commander slammed his hand on the table. "Thank them? For what? For showing us they can crush us the same way they crushed the Krith? We are not safe. We are prey now. Do you not see? The humans do not save us. They control us." Murmurs filled the room. The idea was dangerous, but it was true. The humans had power beyond understanding. And power always demanded control. Some leaders wanted peace. Others wanted plans of defense. But deep inside, all of them were afraid. Even the Krith survivors were afraid. Their fleets were broken, their empire shattered. But their hate burned brighter than ever. The new warlord, scarred and furious, gathered the remnants of his people. "The humans will destroy us all," he roared. "They will burn every empire. They will take every world. Unless we strike first." But his generals shook their heads. "Strike them? With what? You saw their power. We cannot win." The warlord leaned close, his eyes glowing with madness. "Then we will not fight with ships. We will fight with shadows." And so the Krith began to plan. Far away, the humans were silent. Their ships moved without warning, drifting from one system to another. They did not explain why. They did not ask permission. They simply appeared. Sometimes they lingered near worlds for hours, scanning with strange devices, their giant ships casting shadows over cities. Then they vanished again into the dark. People looked up at the sky with fear. Children whispered about ghosts. Farmers prayed that the humans would not notice their planets. Soldiers tightened their weapons but knew they were useless. No one dared fire a shot. Until one day someone did. It was a small system. A frontier world. A coalition patrol panicked when a massive human warship appeared in orbit. Thinking it was an attack, the patrol opened fire. Their beams and missiles slammed into the human shields. Not a scratch. The human ship did not fire back. It simply sent one message. "Do not try again." And then it left. The coalition punished the patrol, but the story had already spread. "We fired everything we had," one pilot whispered in the trial. "It did nothing. Nothing. They could have destroyed us with a thought. But they didn't. Why? That was the question. Why?" The galaxy began to split into factions. Some said humanity had returned to protect life. Others said they had returned to rule. And others, the darkest voices, said they had returned to destroy. The fear grew stronger when strange things began to happen. In abandoned systems, old ruins began to glow again, powered by unknown energy. Ancient outposts long forgotten by every empire came alive. And when the coalition sent ships to investigate, the humans were already there. Standing guard. Watching. Not letting anyone approach. "What are they doing?" the coalition asked. "What are they building?" No answer came. But spies whispered that the humans were activating something older than any empire. Something left behind from before the galaxy's first wars. A weapon. A beacon? No one knew. But everyone feared it. The Krith warlord saw his chance. He spread lies across the stars. He whispered in council chambers. "Do you not see? They are not saviors. They are conquerors. They will destroy us all. The humans are not myths. They are monsters." And his lies began to sound like truth. The coalition grew divided. Some wanted alliance with the humans. Others wanted preparation for war. Secret fleets were built in hidden shipyards. Hidden meetings were held in dark corners of space. Plans were whispered that had never been dared before. "Perhaps," one leader said softly, "the galaxy must unite, not against the Krith, but against humanity." The words were poison, but they spread. Meanwhile, the humans kept moving. Silent, cold, watching. Sometimes they helped. Sometimes they destroyed. Always without warning. In one system, pirates attacked a trade convoy. Before the coalition could respond, human warships appeared. The pirates were gone in seconds, their ships erased, their stations shattered. The humans left without a word. The convoy was saved. In another system, a coalition fleet fought Krith raiders. The humans appeared again. But this time, they did not help. They simply watched. The coalition fought and bled, losing hundreds of ships, before the Krith fled. When the humans left, one coalition admiral shouted into the void, "Why? Why do you not help us?" No answer. And so the mystery grew. Then came the signal. It began as a whisper, a strange pulse across every comm in the galaxy. At first it was nothing but static. But then the static became words. One phrase, repeated again and again. They are awake. No one knew what it meant. No one knew where it came from. But the humans heard it too. Their ships moved faster now, abandoning patrols, rushing toward unknown points of space. They were preparing for something. The coalition panicked. Awake? Who is awake? What are they hiding from us? The Krith laughed in their hidden bases. You fools! Do you not understand? Humanity is not alone. If they are awake, then more are coming. More. The galaxy trembled at the thought. And then, for the first time, a human commander spoke directly to the galaxy. His face appeared on every comm, every screen, every device. He looked tired, his eyes sharp, his voice heavy. The galaxy is not ready, he said. We are here because something else is coming. You must stay out of our way. The screen went black. The galaxy erupted in panic. What was coming? What could make the humans return after vanishing for so long? What was powerful enough to frighten them? And in the councils, the dark question was asked again. If the humans can destroy the Krith, if they can stand against this unknown enemy, then what happens if they turn against us next? Fear turned to suspicion. Suspicion turned to hate. And in the shadows, fleets were being built. Not against the Krith. Not against pirates. Against humanity. The galaxy was preparing for war. But the humans had already begun theirs. The galaxy had not seen peace, even after the Krith dominion was broken. Fear had replaced war. The humans had become the center of every thought, every whisper, every secret plan. Their ships moved silently across the stars, appearing in places no one expected. They saved some worlds, ignored others, and sometimes destroyed things no one understood. The coalition leaders could not sleep. Every day they asked the same question. Why are the humans here? What are they preparing for? But no answer came. Instead, there were more ruins. Strange stations, long buried in forgotten systems, began to glow again. Towers of black stone lit up with blue fire. Dead worlds suddenly pulsed with energy. Whenever explorers tried to investigate, the humans arrived first, their giant ships hovering above like guardians. Stay away, the humans said. That was all. It was enough to drive the galaxy into panic. The Krith survivors used the fear well. In secret meetings, in whispered channels, they spread their poison. The humans are not guardians, they told the coalition. They are masters. They are building their empire again. Soon, you will all be slaves. The poison spread. It was easy to believe. The humans never explained. They never asked permission. They never shared. They simply acted, and the galaxy obeyed because no one was strong enough to resist. Until one night, deep in a hidden station, the galaxy's leaders gathered. Krith warlords, coalition admirals, merchant princes, shadow rulers, all sworn enemies in the past, now sat together. Their voices were low, but their eyes were sharp. They will enslave us, one leader whispered. They will kill us, another hissed. They will replace us, the Krith warlord growled. And so, a plan was born. Not a small plan. Not a raid. Not sabotage. No, this was greater. For the first time in history, the galaxy would unite. Not against the Krith, not against each other, but against humanity. We will strike before they finish their work, the Krith said. Before whatever they are awakening comes alive. We will strike all at once, with everything we have. It was madness. But fear makes allies of enemies. And so, fleets were built in silence. Shipyards worked in shadows. Weapons that had been forbidden for centuries were pulled from vaults. The galaxy's leaders swore to keep the plan secret. If the humans learned of it, they would all be destroyed before they even launched. But the humans already knew. Their ships listened. Their eyes were everywhere. They saw the fleets moving in secret. They saw the weapons being armed. They knew the galaxy was preparing for war against them. Yet they did not strike. They only waited. The day came. The galaxy unleashed its fury. Thousands of ships, from 100 empires, moved at once. They attacked human patrols, ambushed human fleets, surrounded human ruins. For the first time since their return, the humans were outnumbered. Heavily outnumbered. The sky itself seemed to turn against them. At first, it looked like the galaxy might succeed. Human ships were caught in traps, bombarded by every weapon known. Some of their vessels fell, their shields finally breaking under the endless storm. Cheers erupted across the galaxy. We can win. They are not gods. They can bleed. But the cheering did not last. Because the humans had not been fighting with their full strength. The traps were not traps at all. They were tests. The moment the galaxy's fleets revealed themselves, the humans changed. Their ships, silent before, suddenly burned with light. Hidden weapons unfolded. Engines roared with ancient fire. And then, for the first time, the galaxy saw the full power of humanity. A fleet emerged from the dark. Not a dozen ships. Not 100. Thousands. Where had they come from? No one knew. But they were there, rising out of the void like an endless tide. Ships larger than cities. War machines older than empires. Engines that shook the stars. The galaxy gasped in terror. This was only a fraction of them, one admiral whispered in horror. They were hiding their strength all along. The battle turned in an instant. Human ships tore through fleets like paper. Their weapons did not just destroy, they erased. Whole squadrons vanished under beams of white fire. Planet-killer weapons meant to crush humanity instead shattered against their shields like dust. The Krith warlord screamed in rage, ordering his ships forward, but even his warriors faltered. The fear was too strong. Ships broke formation, fled into the dark, only to be hunted down one by one. But even in victory, the humans showed restraint. They could have annihilated every fleet. They could have erased entire empires in a day. Yet they did not. Instead, they disabled ships, left them floating helpless. They fired warning shots instead of killing blows. It was not mercy, it was a message. When the battle ended, the humans spoke. Their voice echoed across every comm, every ship, every world. You misunderstand. We did not return for war with you. We returned because something else is coming. Something older than us. Something greater than us. And if you cannot stand with us, you will not survive. The words struck like thunder. Something greater than the humans? Something older than the myths? The galaxy could not believe it. How could anything be stronger? And yet the humans spoke with certainty. In hidden chambers, leaders trembled. If they tell the truth, then we have doomed ourselves by fighting them, one said. But others shook their heads. No. They are lying. They are only creating fear to control us. There is no greater enemy. Humanity is the enemy. And so, even after their defeat, the galaxy could not unite. Half wanted alliance. Half wanted resistance. All were trapped in fear. Meanwhile, the humans returned to their work. The ruins glowed brighter. The stations grew stronger. The signals pulsed louder. They are awake, the message whispered again across the stars. They are awake. And now, even the humans began to fear. For the thing they were preparing to face was not a myth. It was real. And it was coming. The galaxy thought it had seen everything. It had seen empires rise and fall. It had seen planets burn, fleets clash, stars collapse into black holes. It had seen the return of humanity, the greatest myth of all. But nothing could prepare it for what came next. It began as silence. A strange silence that stretched across the stars. Entire sectors went dark. Ships sent to investigate never returned. Stations stopped answering calls. Trade routes were broken. At first, the coalition thought it was sabotage. The Krith believed it was the humans, punishing them for the failed strike. But the humans knew better. They are here, the humans whispered to themselves. The first true sign came in the Vela system. A colony world with 2 moons and a fleet of defense ships vanished overnight. When a scout arrived days later, it found nothing. Not wreckage. Not ruins. Just empty space, as if the planet had been carved out of reality itself. Fear spread. And then came the screams. Not from mouths, but from machines. Communications across hundreds of systems began to break apart into strange static. But hidden in the noise were voices. Thousands of voices. Screaming. Begging. Dying. The coalition begged the humans for answers. For once, the humans gave them. They are called the Harbingers, a human commander said. We fought them once, long ago. We nearly lost. The galaxy was not ready then. It is not ready now. Harbingers, a coalition leader asked. What are they? Machines? Aliens? Beasts? The human's face was grim. They are everything. They are nothing. They devour stars. They erase worlds. They do not conquer. They do not rule. They end. The room fell silent. No one wanted to believe. But soon they had no choice. The first sighting came in the Dalmar sector. Coalition scouts found a shape drifting near a dead star. It was larger than any ship ever built. Larger than a moon. Its surface twisted like it was alive, covered in black metal that pulsed like flesh. At first, they thought it was an asteroid. Then it opened its eyes. A beam of light cut through the scouts. They were gone before they could scream. The humans arrived moments later. A fleet of warships, massive and armed with weapons that had shattered the Krith. They opened fire, unleashing storms of beams and missiles. The thing turned toward them. The galaxy watched the battle through hidden channels, terrified. And for the first time, the humans struggled. Their weapons tore into the Harbinger, but it did not fall. Its skin grew back, black metal healing faster than it could be destroyed. It lashed out with weapons no one understood. Beams of darkness that tore through shields, clouds of living machines that ate through armor. Human ships burned. Human crews screamed. For every Harbinger ship destroyed, 10 more human ships fell. The galaxy trembled. If even the humans could not win, what hope was there for anyone else? But the humans did not break. They fought with a fury the galaxy had never seen. Their massive flagship rammed one of the Harbingers head-on, detonating with the power of a star. Both vanished in the fire. The humans lost, but the Harbinger was crippled. It retreated into the void. The galaxy gasped. The humans had hurt it. Not destroyed it, but hurt it. That was more than anyone else could do. Yet the cost was great. Half the human fleet was gone. Entire squadrons erased. And worse, the humans looked afraid. The coalition argued endlessly. If the Harbingers are real, we must unite with the humans. But others shook their heads. No. They lie. This is a trick to make us submit. The Harbingers are nothing but their weapon. And while they argued, the Harbingers spread. One by one, systems went dark. Planets erased. Fleets swallowed. And always, the same whisper remained in the static. They are awake. The Krith survivors watched with both fear and madness. Some believed the harbingers were their salvation. Let them destroy the humans, they said. Let them finish what we cannot. Others knew the truth. The harbingers did not choose sides. They devoured everything. The humans began to act differently now. Their silence was gone. They no longer hid their strength. Entire fleets moved openly. Strange machines were deployed around stars, glowing with blue light. Towers were built in orbit, pulsing with energy. The coalition demanded answers, but the humans gave none. Until one day, the human commander returned. His voice was cold, his face pale, but his words were sharp. We told you. We returned because they are coming. Now they are here. And if you wish to live, you must fight beside us. The chamber erupted. Some leaders shouted yes, desperate for survival. Others shouted no, refusing to bow to humanity. The galaxy was torn apart, split by fear and pride. But their choice was running out. The harbingers did not stop. They multiplied. The dead star where the first one appeared was no longer a grave, it was a nest. More shapes were rising from the dark, more living ships, more eyes opening. And behind them, something larger. Something greater. A shadow darker than night itself. The humans knew what it was. The coalition did not. But they would soon. Because the harbingers had begun their march across the stars. And nothing would stop them. The galaxy had once feared humanity. Now, it feared something worse. And as the humans prepared for the final war, one truth became clear. Humanity was not the threat. Humanity was the shield. But shields can break. The harbingers did not stop. They never stopped. Every day, another system went silent. Every day, another world vanished. Fleets that once believed themselves mighty disappeared without leaving wreckage behind. The galaxy was collapsing into fear. The humans had warned them. And now the warning was becoming real. In the core worlds of the coalition, panic ruled. People shouted in the streets. Families fled to safer systems, though no system was truly safe. Merchants closed their ports. Soldiers trembled, even with weapons in their hands. The leaders gathered again, but this time there was no arguing. The harbingers had attacked too close. A wealthy system, long thought untouchable, was gone in a single night. 3 planets erased. Millions gone. Not even the strongest shields survived. The chamber was silent until one elder finally whispered, "We cannot stop this. Not without them." The word hung heavy in the air. Them. The humans. The same humans the coalition had tried to fight only months ago. The same humans they had feared more than anything. Now those humans were the only hope left. Reluctantly, a decision was made. The coalition would send envoys. Not to demand, not to argue, but to beg. The human fleet was found near the ruins of the Dalmar sector. Their massive ships floated above a shattered world, scanning, building, preparing. The coalition envoy sent a signal. 4 hours there was no reply. Fear grew in their hearts. But finally, a face appeared on their screens. A human commander. Pale. Cold. Tired. "You came," he said. The envoy bowed his head. "We have no choice. We cannot stop them. We cannot even slow them. We need you." The human studied him. Silence stretched like a knife. Then the commander spoke. "We told you. You should have listened sooner. But it is not too late. If you fight with us, you may survive. If you fight against us, you will be erased." The envoy trembled. "Then we fight with you." And so, for the first time in history, the galaxy bent to humanity's command. But it was not unity. Not true unity. Fear was the glue that held them together. And fear cracks easily. The training began immediately. Human warships taught coalition fleets new tactics, brutal and strange. Human weapons were shared in small amounts, but never the strongest ones. "You are not ready," the humans said. "You would only destroy yourselves." Coalition soldiers grumbled. Admirals clenched their fists. But they obeyed, because they had no choice. The first joint battle came in the Koran expanse. A harbinger swarm moved toward a colony world, its black ships filling the void like insects. The coalition fleet, hundreds of ships strong, moved to intercept, backed by only 5 human warships. The coalition admirals whispered among themselves. "Only 5. Do they mock us?" But when the harbingers attacked, they understood. The 5 human ships moved like gods of war. Each blast tore through enemy lines, each maneuver broke the swarm. The coalition followed, struggling to keep up, but for the first time, they saw victory. Together, they pushed the harbingers back. The world was saved. Cheers erupted. Hope returned. For a moment, it seemed possible. But the humans did not cheer. They only looked to the stars, their eyes grim. "This was a small swarm," the commander said. "The true harbingers have not arrived yet." And he was right. Weeks later, the galaxy saw something they would never forget. A harbinger unlike any before. Not a ship. Not a swarm. A titan. A being so large it blotted out the stars, its body twisting with living metal, its surface glowing with burning eyes. It moved slowly, but each movement was doom. It did not just attack fleets. It devoured suns. The coalition fleet panicked. Their weapons did nothing. Their ships were swatted aside like insects. 100 destroyed in minutes. Then the humans came. Not 5 ships this time. Not 20. Hundreds. Their largest fleet yet, engines burning white. They opened fire with weapons no one had seen before. Great lances of light. Waves of burning plasma. And still the Titans stood. The galaxy watched in horror as even the humans bled. Dozens of their ships were lost. The Titan did not fall. Then the human flagship moved forward. Larger than the rest, scarred from 100 battles, glowing with strange power. The commander's voice echoed across every channel. "Hold the line." The flagship unleashed its core. A weapon hidden until now. A beam so bright it blinded the stars. It tore through the Titan's chest, ripping holes through its endless body. The harbinger screamed, not with sound, but with the tearing of space itself. The Titan collapsed, falling into the void. The humans had won. But their flagship was gone. Burned out. Dead. The galaxy celebrated. "They can be killed," the people cried. "We can win." But the humans did not celebrate. Because even as the Titan fell, sensors showed more shapes in the dark. Larger shapes. Many. Dozens. Hundreds. The commander's final words before his ship died still echoed. "This is only the beginning." The coalition leaders trembled. If this was the beginning, what was the end? And so the galaxy fought on. Every battle was fire. Every victory was costly. For each harbinger destroyed, 2 more appeared. The humans held the line, their fleets bleeding but unbroken. The coalition followed, gaining strength, but never enough. In secret, some leaders whispered again. "If humanity cannot win, then none of us can." Others whispered darker thoughts. "If humanity falls, perhaps the harbingers will pass us by. Perhaps we should let them bleed alone." But even those thoughts could not erase the truth. Without the humans, the galaxy would already be ash. And so the war raged. At the edges of known space, a storm of black ships gathered. The harbingers were awakening in full. Their nests pulsed with energy, their titans rose one by one. The humans prepared, their fleets forming walls of light against the darkness. And the galaxy, for the first time in history, stood beside them. Not because of loyalty. Not because of trust. But because extinction left no other choice. The war for survival had begun. And deep in the shadows, where even human sensors could not see, something vast was moving. Something older than the harbingers themselves. The true master. The one who had sent them. And when it arrived, the galaxy would learn the final truth. Humanity was not fighting to win. They were fighting to delay. The galaxy was on fire. Worlds burned. Stars dimmed. The harbingers swarmed in endless waves. Everywhere fleets fought, everywhere ships died. The coalition fought beside humanity now, but even united, the losses were unbearable. For every victory, 10 defeats followed. But the humans did not break. They never broke. Their fleets bled, their ships cracked, but they always returned to the fight. And when they stood, the galaxy stood with them. Yet something darker was coming. Something worse. At the edges of space, hidden for ages, the true master of the harbingers stirred. It was not a titan. It was not a swarm. It was something greater. A being so vast it was more like a force of nature than a creature. A shadow of endless mass, moving between galaxies, feeding on life. It had sent the harbingers as hunters, as tests. Now it was awake. Now it was coming. The galaxy trembled. Entire systems fled. Some leaders whispered, "It is over. We cannot fight this." But humanity did not run. Humanity prepared. On a hidden world, deep within a dying star, the humans revealed their secret. A weapon they had never spoken of. A ship unlike any other. Larger than cities. Forged not for travel, but for war against extinction itself. The coalition saw it for the first time and could only whisper one word. Impossible. It was the Ark of War. The last bastion. A machine built in silence, prepared for a day like this. Humanity had never trusted the galaxy, so they had built their own answer to annihilation. The Ark moved into the void, its engines burning with light brighter than suns. Around it gathered the remaining human fleets, scarred and broken but unyielding. Coalition ships followed, fear in their eyes but fire in their hearts. The final battle began. The harbingers poured across the stars, endless and black. Titans roared, their massive forms tearing ships apart. But the Ark stood at the center, its weapons blazing. Beams of pure energy cut through the void. Shields that bent space itself shattered waves of enemies. For every ship lost, a dozen harbingers fell. Still, the shadow grew closer. The master arrived. It did not appear like a ship. It appeared like night itself. A wound in the stars, a darkness that swallowed light. Its voice filled every mind across the galaxy, a voice that was not sound but terror. You cannot stop me. I have ended thousands of galaxies before yours. You are nothing. Many fell to their knees. Some ships fled. But the humans did not bow. The human commander spoke across the galaxy. His voice was tired, but unbroken. You have ended others. But you will not end us. The Ark surged forward. Its weapons tore through titans, carving a path toward the shadow. The coalition fleets followed, inspired, throwing everything into the storm. The battle raged for hours. Ships burned like stars. Entire fleets vanished. The Ark pressed on. Then the shadow struck back. One by one, human ships fell. Entire formations vanished into nothingness. The Ark shuddered under the force, its shields cracking. The commander's voice echoed again. This is the last line. Hold it. Do not break. The coalition fought harder than ever before. Aliens who once feared humanity now died beside them. Old enemies became brothers. Every shot, every sacrifice, was for survival. But it was not enough. The Shadow's power was too great. Even the Ark could not hold forever. The commander made the final choice. Activate the core. The Ark's heart opened. It was not just a weapon. It was a star. A newborn sun, trapped and contained, now unleashed. The Ark became a blazing inferno, brighter than anything the galaxy had ever seen. It struck the shadow, burning through its endless form. The harbingers screamed and died, their master torn apart. But the Ark was dying too. Its hull cracked. Its engines failed. The core could not be contained. The commander gave his last words, not to his own people, but to the galaxy. Remember this. Humanity was never a myth. We were your shield. Now you must stand. The Ark exploded. A sun was born where it died. The shadow collapsed, consumed by the light. The harbingers were gone. The galaxy was saved. Silence fell. The coalition fleets floated in the void, broken, bleeding, but alive. They looked to the new star burning in the dark, the grave of the humans who had saved them. Whispers spread. Tears fell. And then, slowly, a vow formed. The galaxy would remember. They would not let humanity fade into legend again. Because when the end came, it was the humans, those strange, stubborn creatures, that stood between life and annihilation. The myth had become truth. And the truth had saved them all.